On the latest installment of Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg, the BBC host welcomed First Minister Nicola Sturgeon onto the show. The presenter wanted to get her thoughts on the proposed Scottish referendum along with the energy crisis. However, viewers slammed Laura for constantly interrupting Nicola. During Kuenssberg's conversation with Sturgeon, the BBC host wanted to see if the First Minister was confident that Scotland would have another referendum in a year and 10 days' time. Stating that she was confident of her proposal, Sturgeon replied, "The Supreme Court next week will consider the question of does the Scottish Parliament have the competence to legislate for the referendum. There's little point speculating on the outcome of that court hearing." Although Kuenssberg allowed Sturgeon to answer fully at first, the longer the interview went on, the more the host started to interrupt. Disgraceful. Nicola Sturgeon blamed for whipping up anti-English hatred at hustings. Nicola Sturgeon has been accused of whipping up anti-English hatred after an event in Perth turned abusive with many Tory activists pelted with eggs, a news report has claimed. What did Scotland's First Minister say? Find out here. Sturgeon said, "The disruptions that people are suffering right now are coming from decisions that have been imposed on Scotland against our will. From Brexit to the kind of decisions that we saw Liz Truss make just a couple of weeks ago, the impact of that on people is because as a country we don't have control over." Interrupting, the BBC host said, "That's your view and you make that very clearly, but I'd like to talk about what you do." Although the FM demanded that she be allowed to finish her sentence saying, "Let me complete, can I complete one point on this right now?" Kuenssberg replied, "Briefly if you can, because we've got so much to talk about." It wasn't long before viewers noticed the ongoing interruptions and slammed the BBC presenter for not letting Sturgeon properly answer any questions. Tony Charlecroft said, "Laura Kuenssberg, please shut up. Let someone answer a question." James Dunn added, "I'm watching Nicola Sturgeon and Laura Kuenssberg on BBC and it's a battle of who can talk over the other one more." The Laura Kuenssberg Show. Asks the questions. Answers the questions. Says time is short. No need for any guests then. Period, commented Artie Miney. Nipper Dodds asked, "Why does Laura Kuenssberg bother asking questions if she doesn't bother listening to the answers?" G. Alexander swiped, an interview show where the interviewer doesn't let the interviewee answer the questions they're asking. With Twitter using Casey saying, "Struggling with hashtag Laura Kuenssberg talking over people all the time. How can anyone process what's being said?" Elsewhere in the interview, Sturgeon gave her thoughts on what she thinks of our new Prime Minister Liz Truss. Asked if she's a friend or a foe, Sturgeon replied, "We're political opponents. I've always tried to work with her predecessors and I'll try to work with her. I'd like to be a friend on the basis of the areas where we can work together constructively." Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg continues next Sunday on BBC One at 9 a.m.